So this is really the place why a lot of people don't want to come to Bangkok. So you see, recently I've heard a lot that many people after visiting Bangkok, they don't have the best impression. People saying, hey, the city can be dirty. The city is a bit messy. There's scams going around. And generally, but I was actually surprised because I have been coming to Bangkok since 2017, almost every year. And then I've realized, depending on the neighborhoods you go, depending the experience you make, the city, you can have a very different, let's say, time there. And today I was back once again after a year. And in the last video, I've covered like some of the best neighborhoods, really cool experiences, from pools to cool cafes, restaurants, bars. You can check it out for sure. Been getting a suit on the ground, and that is definitely living the good life. But what I wanted to see is also from a perspective of cost of living. Can you do Bangkok still on an affordable level, and how is that gonna look like? So today I want to take you through some of the major neighborhoods, some of the somewhat infamous neighborhoods. Some people love it, some people hate it. But generally get an idea of Bangkok from different perspectives, and also see, can you do Thailand still reasonably on a budget? What you can get, food, couple dollars a day, accommodation, $20, $30. What can you do? Is it possible? Let's find out. And so you could say, this is the dark side of Bangkok. We're in the middle of Khaosan Road. Let's talk about it. What is this place? It's very famous. It's interesting. Alrighty guys, so walking in right now, it has been many years since the last time that I was here. Honestly, I remember it a bit different. Like so far it's pretty nice. So basically all over the place there have like different street food, even nice restaurants. I think I can take it over for a bit. Let's go just over there. So basically this road mostly is famous for being a touristic hub in all of Bangkok. Like a lot of buses leave from all over, actually planning to go to Cambodia after, not sure. You can fly, you can take buses. And I think last time I was here was maybe like 20, I don't know, 19, 20 or something. And I remember that everybody was offering you crazy ping pong shows. I remember very interesting looking bars, but so far, honestly, it looks like a pretty chill street. But we're not on Khaosan yet, just quite. When I was here during COVID, they actually legalized cannabis, and as you see it pretty much everywhere. And you come to, hello. You come to Bangkok to see a Turkish guy doing ice cream. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, Khaosan Road, infamous place, known a lot for the Hangover 2 movie. There I actually don't even fully recognize it. But let's see, where's the entrance? A man with his dog, promoting the dog cafe. So the street itself is one further to the left. Is it gonna get wild now? Over there. Let's go. So this is the infamous Khaosan Road. I gotta tell you, it's just how I remember it. A super loud street, things going on left and right. I would say let's just go for a bit of a walk. Thank you, man. I'm good.
You can help me, bro?
So basically, it's nothing too crazy about it. When it gets dark, they have like a lot of different bars, some more regular, some people say, I've heard, you can get a, I don't know, they call it the happy time, I guess. But to me personally, like, it's the last place I would personally visit in Thailand. But if you've never been, if you're in Bangkok for the first time, it kind of like brings people here. There's a lot of budget accommodation here, but overall I would say it's one of the more unpleasant areas, but kind of probably worth seeing. They're selling here like the scorpion, stuff like that, little snacks. And the concentration of foreigners to Thai is maybe the biggest gap I've ever seen in Bangkok. Like it's like 70-80% people, probably Australia, UK. So yeah, Lisa, you wanted to see what Khaosan is. Now you know. The greenhouse. I don't want to show you too close what it is. I might get banned on YouTube, but basically they got the best happy plants, and it's fully legal in this country. And you smell it everywhere, I'm telling you.
So basically you can get a massage easily on every corner. Music is blasting like crazy, people are yelling. It's a vibe. I think if you have a couple of drinks and your first time in Thailand, you want to feel something a little bit like, oh yeah, they say Bangkok's wild. You probably can find it here to some extent. Or maybe to all extents. I don't know what you can find here. Probably almost everything. How was your ride?
Nice.
Oh, you had the time of your life, huh?
Yeah.
Another thing I definitely love about Bangkok is there's something going on almost any day. I don't know where we're going right now, to the big Lumphini Park. It's almost like a New Year's energy. Been here on New Year's last year. Never seen a busier place in my life, but usually a very peaceful park. I wonder what they're selling here. What do you have there? What is that? Can you show me? Ah, very nice, very nice. That's good. So something is going on here. Super busy. Some shaking pot with some snacks in there. Looks like very much a local event here. And like I said, New Year's around the corner, depending when you watch it. Well, happy 2025. If you come to Bangkok for New Year's, make sure to do your plans, because otherwise it's going to be the most crowded place you've ever seen. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to find the giant lizards, but I'll show you some other clips how it usually looks around here. But like I said, in Bangkok there's always something going on, seemingly for no reason. I'm sure they do have a reason, but they have a lot of them. Huh? Mushrooms? Buy my mushroom. Nice. Lizards are stressed as hell. No doubt about it, definitely Bangkok, all of Thailand really, but especially these type of markets. Street food heaven. This one might be one of the busiest I've ever seen. So basically left and right, they're like grilling up sticks, and you can imagine the prices are like, what is it, like 30-40 cents for a meat stick. You're looking at, oh wow, full chicken over here. They like to also have these small things where you can just collect your own stuff. So this stuff, I have to tell you, since I've been coming in 2017 to Thailand, the prices don't change. The currency compared to dollar or euro maybe does, but the prices on the ground have been the same forever as far as I remember. So much stuff, seriously, look at that. Is it? I would say, as a rather random side note, 7-Eleven is life. In Thailand, probably the best one. You get like proper food here. Obviously not the best quality, but if you need a quick snack, so many different snacks. I love their vitamin jelly. Got some nice kombucha. Nice. You're the biggest fan, huh?
Yes, 7-Eleven in my life.
What I would say is quite interesting in this fancy mall, brand new build, it's kind of like a funny thing about Thailand. Most mall food courts, no matter how fancy, how new the mall is, the prices are very similar. Here may be slightly more expensive. This dish goes for $2, basically even a bit less. Got a little drink for 50 baht, a bit over $1.30. And all of that in this pretty sick mall with this outdoor area. And of course, one of the main places, probably the most impressive for people coming for the first time, is the area around Siam. I used to always call it Siam, but actually Siam is the old word for Thailand. the old name, and they pretty much developed it into like a really freaky looking, futuristic little neighborhood. Big mall, Central World, one of the biggest. Looks super cool, and generally just the whole area, basically this street. One of the nicest, wow, it's always loud in Thailand, for real. One of the nicest places on the road is actually the Park Hyatt, part of the, what is it, Embassy Mall, I think. Super cool mall, there's a super cool cafe, but on the whole street, basically, there's gonna be one mall after another, and it's a must visit. I remember I've been here once for New Year's. This is pretty much empty compared to New Year's. It's always busy, always alive. That is Siam.
Real quick, before we dive deeper into Bangkok, if you're dreaming about your perfect trip to Thailand, or even dreaming about that remote living, that nomad living lifestyle, spend half a year in Thailand or whatever it may be, it is essential to stay safe while on the road. And for me, an absolute game-changing solution is Safety Wing travel medical insurance. Especially with a place like Thailand, you never know what might happen. You might eat the wrong thing if you get sick or injured. Safety Wing covers you in over 180 countries, and the best thing about it, it works kind of like a subscription. So if you need it for a week's trip, you get it for a week. If you want to use it long term as your travel medical insurance, you can do that as well. You are covered for up to $250,000, a $0 deductible, so even the smallest things that might happen are covered. But also with things like lost luggage, delays in the airport, you can just swipe through their website and you will see for any unexpected emergencies. And another thing that is new and might be really relevant to you is if you want to live the life, the got a world to see lifestyle, live around the world, more freedom, more opportunity, more adventure, well, you want to have a complete insurance that covers you beyond just emergency situations. And I think it's a game changer. Safety Wing Complete. So if you need a complete medical insurance, you want to live remotely all over the world, you also want to be covered in your home country, you want to be covered for any new medical complications that might come up. This is something you can get long-term, travel the world with ease. The overall limit is much higher at $1.1 million. And that is the coverage for both unexpected as well as ongoing medical conditions. Safety Wing, an absolute game changer for anybody that goes on a little adventure or wants to live remotely around the world. I'll link it down first thing in the description. Like I said, you can set up a free account with them and book whichever you need for a week, for a month, or long term. First link for a free account down below.
So guys, while on this trip, I definitely also wanted to see if you can do Bangkok still like on a fairly small budget, let's say under $1,000 a month. So the first couple of days after arriving in Bangkok, a little bit closer to the airport, make it easy, make it simple, I was looking for something under $30. And this is a place, kind of like a little 7-story condo, little gym, little rooftop, which we're on right now. It's actually nice to go for a little walk, get a little tan. So the room, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, is way too small to stay like more than maybe 3, 4, 5 days. If you're by yourself, it's maybe fine. It's kind of like a small studio, but super clean. Location is okay. We're like 15 minutes from an MRT in the Chatuchak area. So for me, that was kind of like coming in, settling in, not just like, good thing is, most condos have wash machines, so even like a really budget one, and the benefit is it's a service department, so they clean it pretty much every day. I had a pretty good time. I saw you can still do Bangkok on a budget, but honestly, this is, as of right now, as affordable as it gets. Around $30. Pretty good, pretty good. So guys, and to give you an idea how you can be eating on a budget in Thailand these days, honestly it seems like the prices never change in this country. 60 baht for a soup in the middle of Thailand is like $1.70. Super nice. Some of the best soup in the world, honestly, the price range. You know, in the north and the south might be cheaper, but look at this. Ooh. Here's mine.
You cannot imagine the flavor of that. Best beef soup in the world, I'm not joking. Guys, let's talk about taxis in Bangkok. He will open up, yes. The way it works in Thailand, there's a couple of apps, but by far the biggest go-to is Grab. It's actually quite funny. I've recently promoted them on Instagram. It's the biggest app, and you can order taxis, food, whatever you want with it. Not sponsored by Grab or anything this video, but honestly, it might be the most expensive taxi in Southeast Asia. Right now, for a 15-minute drive, it's going to be around $6. Obviously, super cheap if you compare it to anywhere in Europe, where like a taxi is pretty much going to cost you your grandma's inheritance. But if you compare it to like neighboring countries, Malaysia, from like those where it's like taxis like super cheap. But if you grab the bike, actually, which is also super convenient, especially when there's traffic, they get you through the little holes. That still runs for like $1 or $2. You hop on the back with some guy and he gets you to wherever you want to go. So super convenient, super easy to get around. But during peak hours, traffic is crazy. Still, nonetheless, I would say if you compare it to anywhere else in terms of the standard of a city like Bangkok, getting around by taxi, pretty affordable. And speaking of the very different side of Bangkok, this is like proper old town, but they still got some cool concept, little hotel for a night in very much budget range, like $35 a night, because actually this is kind of like the area of the temples, Khaosan Road, and all over Bangkok there's pretty much canals flowing. Depending where you are, you might not really notice it, but here, this is very much the old life of Bangkok, of Thailand. Somewhere in the far back there, we're seeing a little temple, and then you got some like new concepts popping out, little cafe. Honestly, coffee still runs you $3-4 in places like that, but it's worth it. And if you're interested, it's called Cafe Vele Dome. Nothing crazy, but very stylish. More budget-friendly option. So guys, I would say let me show you the reason why Bangkok is fairly infamous for many reasons.
That's fine. I think filming yourself is actually fine.
So we made it down a little bit after sunset in the area, let's say neighborhood of Sukhumvit. In many ways, one of the most busiest one, a little bit outside of the city. A lot of people like to stay here. I think 3-4 times around here. I had a hotel, Airbnb a little bit further down the road. Right now we're actually staying in Thonglor, which many people say, especially locals, is kind of like a very the area itself is not like too crazy, but they have like different cafes, different restaurants. Or maybe we'll show you on another day. It's kind of like, you know, like local celebrities like to go there for bars, considered like kind of like the most expensive, a little bit outside of the center area, or let's say so kind of like left and right, lots of condos. Me personally, I always like the main road the most. Lots of different malls, Terminal 21 we're going to be approaching right now. One where I actually want to buy something real quick for the next couple of days. And yeah, if you're looking for a place to stay, I would say here is some of the best kind of like mid-upper range condos. So the Bangkok mall mania continues. So basically, if you walk from Sukhumvit, all the next stations, so at this point I've learned them. Klumpong, Nana, Thonglor. Basically, it's the green line in Bangkok, and I would say it's the most popular area for getting a condo, for staying, and I understand why. It's not quite like the city center, a bit cheaper and a bit more like real Bangkok, but nonetheless on this one main road you can pretty much walk it down for 2-3 hours. You're gonna see tons of different malls like this. This is the M Sphere mall right now. I think there's a sky bridge we can take, we're gonna do.
But actually, I need to buy something here. So let's do that real quick. And then I'm gonna show you another. Basically, most metro stations along this green line here, they all have kind of like a huge mall complex. Not just like one like little mall or something. Most of them really in this area. So wherever you choose to stay, like center, possible. Not that many condos, definitely not an Airbnb. So most likely you're gonna end up here. And like the last station I think is on Nut Reeds. Lived there a couple of times, not bad, a little bit far out. So this is as Bangkok as it gets. Guys, and don't get confused that this is a Christmas thing. Right after Christmas, they're gonna set up for Easter, then they're gonna set up something for the summer angels. There's always something here. 10-minute walk down on a pretty nice sky bridge. From that mall, we are at the BTS station, MRT station of Prongpong. Music is blasting all over the city, it's crazy. But here you're basically arriving in two more huge malls, M Quartier and Emporium, a little bit older, still freaky, futuristic, super like decorated. That is the wild thing about Bangkok. I remember the first time I was here in 2017, really blew my mind. Just, you know, it gets boring, it gets old after a while, but then again, if you haven't been for a couple of weeks, you know, it's a really good spot to hang out, especially if it's hot. And look at it right now. And last minute they told me the mic is out of stock, so I'm gonna try the camera store here. So another very nice camera store. They got some super nice camera stores here and many. You know, one mall doesn't have it, you're up in the next one, fully stocked, ready to go. Oh, that's a baby right here. And talking about different interesting neighborhoods. First time I'm staying, let's say, in the heart of Thonglor. And I gotta tell you, it's quite a bit different in the sense that there's so much different international concepts, as well as like very fancy Thai, Korean, kind of like on one side restaurants, nightlife seems to be popping here as well. So I decided to check out, for me, a little bit of a new neighborhood, because actually on the main road, there's the stations of Ekamai, Thonglor obviously. I've stayed always next to the main road, which I would say I still prefer. Here it's kind of like not super walkable, it's more about the different little shops and cafes. Very international area also in the sense of you see probably as many like foreigners as you would maybe in the center. Like I mentioned before, Bangkok, one of the most visited cities. So I would say to come to visit, super cool, but the rent generally here is one of the higher ones. I think it's considered kind of like a bit of a fancy district, but for nightlife, also from what I know, is many rooftop bars around here. So Thonglor, definitely, especially if you're traveling, if you want to stay in an area with lots of cool places to sit down to. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
And so this neighborhood here, a lot of people recommended me to stay there, and it was quite convenient because I also wanted to get a suit tailored while I was in Bangkok, and I did that. It took roughly like around 5 days, and then I had this, yeah, pretty amazing suit. I had a hard time choosing the color, choosing all the different fits. But in the previous video, like I mentioned, there I covered some of the most amazing hotels, some of the most amazing areas, and also really step by step the whole suit process, from getting the sizing to getting it doing the final sizing and then getting the product. It was really cool actually, being able to choose like all the different colors, the inside, little engravings and stuff like that. So you can check that out in the previous video. So that was in one of the same neighborhood of Thonglor. And while a lot of people recommended it to me, I thought it was really cool. Lots of really new cafes, all felt really boutique, so nothing like really, there's not like a proper walking street. In that sense, I preferred other neighborhoods, but it was cool. And I do have to say I had a bit of a rather negative experience. I booked an accommodation for one price. When I arrived, I had to pay another. Let me share that story with you. Happens sometimes, they say. Hello, how are you? We booked online earlier today. You said there's some problem with the booking. Daniel. And so good morning from Thonglor Neighborhood, one of, let's say, the most popular for kind of like expats, people visiting. And I'm gonna say it's a vibe for sure. I've never stayed exactly right inside here on the main road I did before, and It's also one of the bit more expensive areas. So in the apartment here, I was checking kind of like hotels, decent $40, $50, good ones around 100. And so I have booked an apartment for $60. And it's not bad. Like I can show you a couple of pictures right now. It's not the newest, but they do have a nice kind of like little rooftop, little gym. But the thing is, right after they're texting me, they want me to cancel. And I have seen other listings of the same place for more money. But I was like, well, sometimes there's different listing, different website, different prices. Why not book it? And usually I don't like to book and prepay, but whatever, we got it done. I didn't want to bother around. And then they tell me, hey, you can have a better room for 1,000 more baht. $30 more pretty much, almost. So that would drive up the price to like $90 a night, which I thought like, doesn't quite look like it. So I just thought, hey, let's arrive. I arrive. And then there's a guy telling me a story about there's a previous owner and I don't know why he's making the bookings. But the other guy I was still talking to, he was assuring me, just come in, just talk to them. They're going to give you a room because the room I have booked is not available anymore. And that's kind of like what happened. But then I ended up in the same room I have booked, same square meter size, same furniture. They were assuring me I have to pay extra. And it's kind of like really fishy. The guy here was really nice. Everything was, he seemed very understanding. We even got down to 700 baht more. But at the end of the day, he was telling me this unit that I'm staying right now is still kind of like a pretty old unit. It's the only one they have. Anything else is much, much more expensive, and I need to pay exactly 1,000 baht more. Then I go and check on the website. They have many, many more units available for the same price he quoted me. So I basically ended up overpaying over $30 for a condo that is, in another country, that for like $85 would be fine, $80. But honestly, it doesn't feel like an organized scam or anything, but definitely it seems like it appears to be not very truthful, just from the fact that he said there's no other units available. You go online, you see 6 units for the same price, like 2,600, 700 baht. And yeah, a bit unfortunate, bit of a bad experience happens sometimes. And these basically didn't end up paying more, just the amount that I paid. Stay 2 nights, so basically 1 night is lost. Bit of an unpleasant experience. Basically lost like 70, $80, but it's fine. Mostly I actually just wanted to check out the neighborhood, so a rather negative experience. So this has been a bit of a walk through many different neighborhoods of Bangkok. I hope you enjoyed it. For me, I was there for pretty much 3 weeks on the ground, and I asked myself really the questions: how are some of the neighborhoods I've been maybe many years ago or haven't ever gone to? And I would say it like that. In terms of cost of living, Bangkok is definitely, out of all of Thailand, not the cheapest city. If you go to the north, Chiang Mai, it's like half the money. Even the south can be quite a bit more affordable. I was there obviously in fairly busy season, but still Bangkok, I would say if you have like a budget of around $1,000 a month, you can have a super fun time. You can get delicious food, you can get very decent accommodation. If you stay long term, then you can do the long term rentals. Like actually it's fairly hard to get short term a nice Airbnb. They're gonna run you like $70, $80, $100 a night, whereas a monthly rental for the same place is maybe like $600, $800. But for that you have to stay at least for a month or even sign a 6-month lease. Another factor to consider is also that Bangkok, Thailand right now, their currency is pretty strong. The economy is pretty stable in that sense, and compared to like US dollar or euro from a year ago that I've been there, it went up by 10%, so you do feel it a little bit if you pay attention to it. But still, the crazy thing is, like, let's say I'm there in 2017, I pay 50-60 baht for a delicious stewed soup, some nice Thai dish on the street. I come back pretty much pushing it to 2025, what is almost 7-8 years later. The price is still the same. So you can get an amazing experience, amazing value. But for me, it's always a lot more about, not like, let's say, hey, let's spend as little money as possible. It's more about what kind of value do you get. If I pay $30, what do I get? If I pay $100, what do I get? If I pay $200-300 for like whatever, be it a night in a hotel, or let's say if I spend $1,000 a month, how does my life look? What if I spent $4,000 a month? And the reality is in Thailand, for a couple thousand, let's say 2,000-3,000 in Bangkok, you're going to be living a 10K plus lifestyle. You're going to be staying at a luxury building. You're going to be eating at top-notch restaurants with top-notch service. Not just a place that looks a certain way, that tries to be something. Like in many countries, you know, there's a couple of restaurants that maybe look nice on pictures, but by the way the service is, by the way they're cooking, there's nothing wrong. I love being in emerging economies where like people are really trying to do something and go somewhere, but in Thailand you really feel it's established, it's competitive, and the service really has to be good, especially if they want to charge you somewhat higher price tag. So for that, make sure to check out the previous video I have done. Went to a resort in the middle of Bangkok, went to a really freaky hotel that I would say is one of the most unique ones in the whole city. And I've been doing videos in Thailand almost every year, a couple, always to update it a little bit. And this time I went to Khaosan Road, I think first time since God knows when, 2018, maybe 19, something like that. And honestly, in some ways, they're building new stuff there as well, so it's kind of nice. If you are in there for the craziness, if you have a couple of drinks, maybe it can be a vibe actually. But I think a lot of people, they make the mistake of actually going to these rather bit more gritty, bit more seedy neighborhoods, and they're like, you know, Bangkok, it's a little bit messy, it's a little bit, you know. But at the same time, I think Thailand in general, same with Phuket, same with even Pattaya, if you choose, like, you have to like arrive and give yourself a couple of days, maybe ask around, maybe drive around on a scooter and check out the certain different neighborhoods, because I feel like Thailand, the major cities are very, very fragmented. If you stay in the old town, Bangkok, Khaosan, you're gonna have a completely different experience than if you stay in like the center, like Siam, or you stay in Thonglor, or whatever certain neighborhoods I've showed today or in previous videos. So that is really my impressions, my input for Thailand. If you're new here, that's what I basically do. I document my life around the idea of building a life of freedom around the world, going to places that offer more. In recent times, this year has been so busy. I've counted it has been 21 countries, a lot of also adventure destinations, countries I've never thought I would actually be traveling to, certain passport stamps that give me now a hard time. It's probably time to switch the papers, but honestly, it has been a lot about freedom this year, a lot about opportunity. But also been a year full of adventure, and this is when I like to come back to a place like Thailand to cool down a little bit, to be in an environment that for me at this point is familiar. And in that sense, Thailand, considering the value you get, considering the development in the country, but also a little bit the two perspectives, the two worlds of a little bit of the Thai old life, the amazing food, and at the same time you have cutting edge new developments where you're like, wow, certain parts of the world are really lagging behind when it comes to that. And so yeah, Thailand definitely one of the, if not the all-time GOAT of tropical destinations. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to, whatever they say, like, subscribe, But if you want to keep in touch, join me on Instagram, and we're gonna see each other very soon.